Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry this video is a little bit later. I actually got stuck watching Upper Echelon Gaming's live stream, so shout out to you, my dude. He's been live streaming this game, and I wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to watch it, to be honest. Very honest opinion. And obviously, we're going to be looking at the user score, which has been announced, and I want to just say straight from the bat that there will be two sides watching this video. And I want to say that I actually hear both of your sides, because, I mean, that's called being objective, isn't it? Ultimately, the user score was going to be low, and I think everyone knew it was going to be low, because immediately, you know, you'll have both sides. So you'll have the people that are absolutely pro it, and they will say that it's all trolls. You'll also have, alternatively, on the flip side of that, the people that hate it, and they'll say, well, no, it deserved to get the low scores, and they're definitely not all trolls. I think it's really important to note that actually we're never going to really know the full picture of the user reviews until a few weeks. And I think that's really fair, no matter what kind of side you sit on. I think we can all agree that really we don't get a big picture until a few weeks down the line. I think that's just being, you know, sensible and logical and smart. So we're going to take a look at this. The user score is low. And I do think, yeah, inevitably some of them, like, of course they will be trolls. But I always think it's really important to note that they won't all be trolls. There will be some, but they won't all be trolls. And there's a lot of really good people that, you know, I generally speaking agree with, who are reviewing this, playing this, and doesn't sound particularly great. So let's check it out, right? So The Last of Us Part 2 user score has recently been revealed. On Metacritic, the game has a 3.4 user score with 8,911 ratings. There are, however, 2,539 positive ratings, 226 mixed, and 6,146 negative ratings. Now, I think, again, just to play devil's advocate, right? If you are one of these people that think they are all trolls, then you can't really get angry when someone was to, you know, retort or rebuttal that statement with, well, the 2,500 positive must all be positive review bombs as well, you know? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it. Now, I would say that a large portion of people being positive do actually like it. I think this game will inevitably have an audience. But then there will be some which are just blind fans. And I've had them on my videos, and I think anyone who's talked about this would agree, there are just blind fans. I did a video where I was discussing the ins and outs of the Sony censorship and things like that. I wasn't actually even discussing the game, but there were people that were coming on and saying, suck it, you know, it's just all this kind of stuff, saying you're talking about left wing didn't actually even leave my mouth. So, you know, when we start to look at it like that, there are obviously blind fans out there that will be positively review bombing this. Now, here's what users are saying, sorted by Metacritic's Most Helpful tab. Chopper323 gives the game a 1 out of 10, and they write, honestly, it's an SJW game isn't even the reason everyone is so upset. And this, what he's about to say, is actually what people, you know, who critiquing it have said, that it's not actually that narrative. It's the narrative from the first game to the second game. They've changed it to a way which isn't fulfilling or satisfying as a story. So they say it's that Naughty Dog ruined such beloved characters and created a terrible story in the process that makes this game unbearable to even finish. The only good thing about this game is the graphics, but I wouldn't even say that's a compliment, because we already expect them to be good. Just stick with the first game. And again, I think that's a really fair critique. And I know there'll be, again, the blind fans that hate it, and there will even be the trollers that will come out and say, well, no, that's not fair, because it's definitely all SJW. And that's the unfortunate nature of being objective, is that you tend to get hate from both sides. But I would say that's quite fair, and that's what I said from the out. I said, look, hey, you know, if they do what the leaks have indicated, which is all but confirmed now, you're ruining the narrative, or at least you're not putting a narrative which is satisfying, or won't be satisfying. It was obviously my opinion, but it seems that other people agree with it. Now, Fan Genigus, weird name, gives the game a 3 out of 10, and they write, "It breaks my heart to write this, but I really did not expect such a poor story after all these years of waiting. While there were a few genuinely good moments, majority of game filled up with plot holes, it just took elements of what worked for the first game without understanding what made them compelling. It seems like this game was done by another studio, but it's not. The basic gameplay has stayed the same, for better or worse. Environment puzzles are almost gone. So remove story from the table, and you're left with the shallow gameplay that will have you looking for some other game." So that's, again, that's more of a critique on the story, isn't it? And again, most people, you'll have all the blind fans just saying, "Oh, it's just because people are anti-left or whatever, and they crying woke." But that's a really simpleton way of looking at it, and it's a really bad argument when these people are actually giving quite justifiable reasons, But hey, whatever. Fuck me, am I right? So Crisis Core 20 gives the game a 0. They write, "This game is not bad because of SJWs. This game has poor, contrived writing that is trying to prove a point. It is forced and unconvincing. In addition, you have gameplay from 2013 and NPCs that speed up and slow down like GTA 5 in 2013. Quite scathing. I remember others complaining Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018 was behind the times. I wonder what these people think of The Last of Us Part 2. Now, Sezi gives the game a 0, and they wrote, "Good graphics, but story and gameplay outdated. The Last of Us was way better, and I think they tried too much about this game." Fair point, I would say. "I'm not sure why every game must be inundated." And then we start to get to the well, I don't know, just the very anti-social justice agenda element. And these are valid as well. I don't see why they're not valid. I think, when we're trying to enjoy entertainment and media, there are definitely people which don't want to be lectured in their media. And I think that's valid. I think there's validity to both sides, to be honest. But invariably, because I'm centre, I will get hate from both sides. Can't win. Fuck me, am I right? I'm not sure why every game must be inundated with SJW agendas. Do not want. I don't even want to elaborate on my heartbreak for this series. What's done is done, I guess. Poor writing and politics don't belong in video games. Druckmann can hang his hat up on this one, knowing he foobarred this one. Complete distraction, nothing more. As the main feature of The Last of Us was a story, now the story is very bad. When you see how... I don't know what that's supposed to be. When you see how forced ideology was implemented in scenario and characters, you see the actual result. You have non-evolving characters, non-interesting gameplay, and gameplay did not evolve from first game. Absence of characters, motivation in most cases. When you see this game, you just think it could be a masterpiece, but now this is politics. Perfectly fair and reasonable. This game is immensely bleak, with the bright, hopeful spots of the first entry being altogether absent. And I will say, Upper Echelon Gaming made a very key point. He said that the game is super gory. It's a super gory, super violent, bloody game, and that appears to be what they were going for. So in that, they have succeeded. It's a success. If a games company have set out to achieve a certain thing, and the game is represented of that, then it is a success in terms of them setting out to achieve and achieving it. But whether it's liked in their execution is another matter entirely, isn't it? So obviously, with that being said, just about 10 hours of the game are wasted on fruitless plots, and the entire story, potentially of both games, is rendered meaningless by the dumbfounded ending. I could say more, but this game is a huge disappointment, and I regret waiting 7 years for it. Yeah. 0 out of 10 walking sim with a laughably bad story. Looks nice though, but so do most games these days. And that's one thing we find with movies. Like I always say, look, it looked good, but that's not something to be proud of in this day and age when there's hundreds of millions of dollars spent on films. All movies should look good, right? They all should look good. That is never a compliment to a film. The gameplay is alright at best, not upset by it. It's just the story that really peeves me. How can you go from The Last of Us 1 to this in terms of story? Yeah, it all seems to be story, to be fair. Most people, you know, the only thing that saved the game was environments and animation. Seriously, no explanation needed for this low score. They've ruined the franchise. The game killed the first part in a very disrespectful way. Terrible story, again story, with characters which remind me of some hipster, emotional, low-budget drama movie. A bigger disaster than 2020. Fair enough. I've made some videos about 2020. I hate this year so much. Just usually just chop my head off and, I don't know, play the panpipes with my fucking neck or some shit. It's super boring. False advertising. With the plot, Naughty Dog completely disregarded what people liked about the first game and instead shoveled out this trash. On top of that, crunch time, game developers at Naughty Dog had to experience this inhumane just to finish the game. Yeah, look, anyway, there's nothing else much to say on this. I think we'll do another recap on this a few weeks down the line. That's when we really get a good picture of it. Not all of these people are going to be trolls. They're just not going to be trolls. It's really disingenuous to claim that they are all trolls. Will some of them be? Yeah, of course. But then, you know, if we're willing to say that some of them are going to be trolls and some of them are going to be trolls positively reviewing this game. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Again, shout out to Upper Echelon Gaming for doing his live stream. Check it out. He's a good dude. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, with Mr. H, take care.